So what do you need to know about cellular respiration? A good place to start is the lecture guide. It will tell you that you got to know the reactants in the products. You got to know the role of cellular respiration in powering the anabolic reactions of life. You got to know the relationship between cellular respiration and photosynthesis, and that the order of energy flow in the ecosystem. You have to know what ATP is and how it's important for cellular energy and how it's the structure. You have to know what an oxidation reduction reaction is, and that electrons hold potential and charge, and that atoms that have more electrons are going to be highly charged. You have to know that glucose is being oxidized to reduce oxygen to water as glucose is oxidized to carbon dioxide. And you have to know about the oxidation and reduction of those intermediates of the NAD, FAD, and ADP to their corresponding charged versions. You gotta know the mitochondria as an endosymbiont that qualifies for the categories of life, and you gotta know its roles and the structure, especially what the matrix and the cristae is for, why there are cristae, why is it folded. You gotta know that stuff. You gotta know the processes. You gotta know what happens at each process, especially the overall count of production of energy molecules, including the running total at the end of each process. You also got to know that when there's no air, it goes into anaerobic or no air respiration, which is the fermentation, which is different in animals and yeast, because animals make lactic acid that causes cramps, and yeast make alcohol and carbon dioxide, which we use to make bread and wine. Then you got to know the sequence of the steps, which ones are aerobic, which ones are anaerobic. Basically everything that happens in the mitochondria is going to be considered aerobic, that requires air. You got to know where the processes happen, and also where would you find certain chemicals like acetyl-CoA, pyruvate, glucose, and the carriers, where do they end up? So that kind of stuff you gotta know. You gotta know how much energy is produced in each step, and how much energy is consumed in each step. You gotta know where oxygen is consumed and water produced. That's only in the ETC. Carbon dioxide is produced a little bit during grooming, more during the Krebs cycle. You gotta know the difference between substrate level phosphorylation and oxidative phosphorylation. You gotta know what the oxygen is for as the final electron acceptor. You gotta know the role of glucose as the electron donor that's going to give all this energy to start the chemical reactions of your body. You have to know that prokaryotics and eukaryotic cells both can do respiration, but that eukaryotic cells do it faster because of the mitochondria, and prokaryotic cells have to do it in the membrane and the cytoplasm, a bunch of other things happen at the same time. Now, while they do more energy, they do it slowly. And also you have to know the role of enzymes in this process, that they speed up the process and also regulate the process through allosteric inhibition. You also have to know that there's a universality to cellular respiration, that all life forms tend to use it, and then that indicates a similarity that hints at a common evolutionary link to all life form on Earth. So if you're able to hit those points, you're going to do great on the test, and I hope that you are prepared. All right? Thank you very much.